Now everybody knows, if you want to cycle well uphill, you should not opt for a triathlon bike or a TT bike. Instead, you want to hop on a road bike if you want to climb comfortably and faster, particularly as the hills get steeper. But is that actually true? Now certainly TT or triathlon bikes sacrifice some weight savings for aero savings, and those extra few grams are multiplied as you start to head uphill. But can you still climb on a triathlon bike?
Well, I'd say definitively yes. How do I know? Well, I'm glad you asked, Mark.
I didn't.
Well, anyway, I'll tell you. I won Alpe d'Huez triathlon twice, and Ironman, and Ironman France.
Oh yeah.
All on a TT bike. And every time the French were incredulous and said I'd brought the wrong bike. Every time.
So, how do you climb on a TT or triathlon bike? Well, we've got a few tips to help you out.
Tip 1, train to climb. Climbing hard like you will in a race requires a sustained effort at or near your threshold, or even above your threshold for shorter climbs. And there is no real hack for this. You just have to be fit enough to sustain that power. The hack, perhaps, is that you can do this without a hill. Do some efforts at or near your threshold and you will get fitter, and in turn you'll be able to climb better. So I suppose the hack really is do some work at your threshold to get fitter, to climb better.
Set your bike up to climb well. Now obviously you want to make sure your bike is ready for everything, and hopefully it's already optimized. But if you're heading up some steep climbs, then you're also going to want to consider your gear choice. So this might mean taking a look at the chain rings on your chain set, perhaps opting for a compact chain set. You may also want to take a look at the gears on the back on your cassette. You want to make sure maybe you've got a few larger and easier cogs there for you. Essentially, this is going to allow you to maintain and stay at a more comfortable cadence rather than maxing out your gears, grinding to the top, which in short is drastically going to affect your cycling efficiency uphill.
Tip 3, choose your cadence. If you've applied Mark's previous point about the gears, you should be able to choose whichever your preferred cadence is, regardless of the gradient. The science says there's no real benefit or cost to a higher or a lower cadence, so whatever feels best for you probably is best. You can, however, change your cadence as you're going up or down the hill, so you can switch to a higher cadence for a while and give your aching leg muscles a break, or switch to a lower cadence for a while and bring that heart rate down a little bit without actually slowing down too much while you climb.
Tip 4, forget the aerodynamics. Honestly, I can't quite believe I'm saying this one, but here we go. Obviously, being in the TT bars is always more aerodynamic, but the slower you go, the less important they become. And obviously riding uphill, the slower you go. So instead, just find a comfortable position, sitting up, and stick to that. There is no benefit to being in the TT bars whilst riding uphill, unless of course, you can produce more power in that position. If nothing else, I personally just think it's a good excuse to have a break from that aero position without any cost penalty.
Tip 5, stand when it helps, but not too much. Standing is a great way to change up the muscles, give some a break while using others. And when aerodynamics doesn't matter as much, as we mentioned in our previous point, you can turn to standing a little bit more readily. But standing is really taxing on your body, particularly those muscles that you're going to need for the run leg that's coming up. So only stand for short periods and save the standing for the steepest bits where it makes the most difference.
Tip 6, pace yourself. Yeah, we all know this one. Starting a race, you head off too hard or too fast, and actually what ends up happening more often than not is your overall time is slower. The same is true for cycling uphill. There's no point in attacking the start, the base of the climb, because you'll probably end up running out of steam halfway up. You'll be far better starting off at an easier, more comfortable intensity at the start, and as you're feeling strong in that final third of the climb, really pushing on and attacking then. Unless the hill is really short, honestly, you'll see little benefit in pushing on at the start of a hill to keep the momentum up.
And our final tip, tip 7, keep rolling over the top of the hill. It's natural when you get to the top of a hill to ease up and relax a little bit, but you're definitely going to lose time if you do that immediately when the gradient eases. Rather, keep pushing that power all the way over the top and only ease up when your speed is increased on the downhill. Then you can relax and recover from that brutal climb.
Yeah, now look, there is no beating around the bush on this one. Cycling uphill can be quite brutal. It's quite common to hear cyclists and triathletes lament about how they are simply not hill climbers. But hill climbs, or steep hills, do not have to be intimidating. You can turn those weaknesses into strengths with a bit of practice and knowledge.
Yeah. We must also point out that a lot of these tips today are for racing on a hilly triathlon rather than enjoying a hilly triathlon. If your goal is to simply enjoy that hilly triathlon, you actually may be better off on a road bike. They are more comfortable, you're definitely going to enjoy the descents more, but they might not be faster. If you've enjoyed today's video, hit that thumbs up button, give us a subscribe for more videos from GTN, and we'll see you next time.